Hey sis, hey. Welcome back to another episode of Coming to the Stage. If you are new here, get ready, get excited, because this is your opportunity to be introduced to a powerful woman with another powerful message and another powerful voice that I know when you hear her, she is going to uplift you. She's going to encourage you. She is going to empower you. I am Andromeda Raheem. I am the founder of She Wins Society. And every Wednesday and Friday, you can look forward to seeing us right here on YouTube and Facebook, introducing you to another powerhouse woman with a powerhouse message. And in this season, we are specifically bringing to the stage the powerhouse women who are going to be speaking at the She Wins Conference and Awards on November 9th in Atlanta, Georgia. So today's special guest who is coming to the stage, she really needs no introduction, okay? She is not new to this. She is true to this. She is an inspiring speaker. She is a TEDx speaker. She is an award-winning author. I'm going to let her tell you all about her award-winning book when she comes to the stage. So bringing to the stage right now is none other than Michelle Petties, y'all. Get ready. Welcome to the stage, Michelle.
Andromeda, it is so good to see you. I'm delighted to be here. I'm so excited to be here. Yes. Let's talk about power tonight.
Yes. So listen, like I was telling you before we came on here, I'm always so excited. Like, your bio is so phenomenal. I kind of just was reading even more about you. You, like I said, you are not new to this. You are true to this. You have been out here inspiring these people for a long time. So for anybody, though, who may not be familiar with you, can you just give us a little bit of an introduction into who you are and what you do?
Yes. Thank you, Andromeda. As you can see, my name is Michelle Petties. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm a food story coach. I am the author of Leaving Large, the Stories of a Food Addict. And just let me tell you a little bit about that. That book chronicles my journey through 40 years. Count them, y'all. I don't know. Count them. 20, from the time I was 20 until the time I was 60, I struggled with food addiction and obesity. And my power, right? My voice was blocked. And I didn't even realize it. Didn't even know it. I was working and excelling in my career, or so I thought, but I always felt like a failure when it came to my weight, when it came to food, to managing that. And I was never able to step into my life like I really wanted to, or what I deserved. But then in 2019, I figured out some secrets. I figured out some stuff. And the switch just flipped. The script flipped. And my life flipped. And everything changed. And I'm now about teaching anybody who's ready, especially my sisters, right? Especially the women that are who now I used to be. I want them to understand. I want them to know the joy, the power, the peace, the freedom, the confidence that is on the other side of this journey, because it is so available to them, and I want to share it.
Yes, so good. I think that so many women can relate to having different struggles with their body over time. As I've gotten older, I've definitely realized, like, I look back at pictures of myself and was like, oh, you didn't have the same struggles with weight that you do as you get older, right? So when you say that you made a big difference in, you said 2019? Wow. So that was like older in life, which is major because a lot of women do struggle as we get older with our weight, but you found the secret. And tell us, because I don't think you said it. How much weight did you actually lose, Michelle?
I think so Andromeda, there are a number of different numbers that are swirling around. In my lifetime, from the time I was 20 until the time I was 60, I have gained and lost over 700 pounds. And that I never weighed 700 pounds. I want to be clear, but that struggle, that cycle of losing 30, gaining 40, losing 40, gaining 50, losing 50, gaining 60, it kept me on a hamster wheel. It kept me stressed. It kept me feeling disempowered. It kept me feeling like I would never, ever win. It kept me feeling like like I was battling my body, right? That's 40 years of that. And the reality is when you feel that way, when your body is a burden, when you don't feel comfortable in it, and you don't feel comfortable in it because of the weight of everything that you're carrying, not just the weight of the physical weight, but the emotional weight that is trapped inside the physical weight. That 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 that's what keeps you blocked. But as women, as Black women, we still have to perform, no matter what we look like, no matter what we feel like, or we feel that. But the reality is, the truth is, the secret is, once we figure out how to get peace with food, once we figure out how to eat in a way that nourishes our whole self, that nourishes our body and our brain, once we learn how to eat to our truest and highest intention, right, and eat for the right emotion,
That's good.
when we learn how to do that, then we step into our power. Then we can claim some stuff. Then it will be true when we talk about being unashamed, when we talk about being authentic, when we talk about being unapologetic. It will be the truth because we're not using food to block it.
Mm, that's good. And I'm sitting here nodding because I can totally relate to the seasons in my life where I gained weight. And what was behind that, underneath that, was a lot of emotional turmoil. I was emotional eating. I was, grieving. There were things that was going on in my life. Like, I actually remember I was going through a specific season where I was having like a lot of relationship issues. And it's like, it was like almost like I psychologically told myself, like, put on the weight to like keep people away. Like, I didn't even want people to bother me. So I was like, I was going to just put on these pounds to keep people at a distance. Right.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I think that when you think about like a lot of the messages that we hear today about, body positivity and women feeling confident in themselves in all seasons, what is it that we also need to understand though? Like, yeah, you might gain the weight and you need to be confident in yourself, but what are some things that we really need to be
Sure.
considering when we are putting on those pounds?
Sure. Sure. All right. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I know.
But there are a few things that I want people to understand, and I want people to understand this. I want women to understand this because I didn't understand it. So, and I'm here, right? I'm talking to you. I do the work that I do because I don't want anybody else to have to go through for 40 years what I went through for 40 years. So I went through that struggle so that other people don't have to. Okay? So in this, one of the things to learn, and probably the biggest and most important thing to learn, is this: every extra ounce, every extra pound, every extra anything on our body was gained in our head first. Before it showed up in our body, it showed up in our mind. That's where we gained it. And we have to lose it the same way. The same way we gained it, we have to lose it through the same portal. And that's one way that makes what I do different than a lot of coaches out here. We are conditioned to believe that we need to focus on what should I eat and how much of it should I eat. We've all heard the rule, that 80-20 rule. It's 80% what you eat and 20% how you move, 20% workout, 80-20. And we nod, yes, 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 yes. But here's the truth. You got to do the 100% mental first. Before you can do the 80-20, you got to do the 100% mental. I have talked to, I have met, I have worked with too many people that had the surgery, they had the bariatric surgery, that had the sleeve, and they gained the weight back. Or they're still miserable because they haven't changed this up here. And what I'm not even talking about lifestyle. I'm not talking about mindset. I'm talking about belief system, which is different. When you change, when changing your belief system, like it's like this. And this is why I'm not worried about ever gaining the weight back. Not one day where I have peace. You think about a caterpillar, right? A caterpillar is a caterpillar for as long as it is a caterpillar. and it goes into its cocoon and it emerges a butterfly. When it emerges as a butterfly, it cannot go back to being a caterpillar. It can't do it because it is transformed. And once you get to the point where you understand what real food is versus this fake food, once you understand what real hunger feels like versus everything else that does show up in your stomach, right? Frustration shows up in your stomach. Fear shows up in your stomach. Sadness, loneliness, grief, right? When we get to the point that you can know the difference, no, that's not real hunger. That's some emotion. That's some emotion that I need to soothe, I need to solve, and food will not do it. Food don't do it. Only connection will do it. But the problem happens, the addiction happens, the trauma happens when we keep trying to use food to do something and make food do something that it cannot do, which is comfort us.
Mm-hmm.
The food cannot comfort us, but we get tripped up because food is associated with so many different comforting situations in people. And because the link is so tight, when we're feeling a certain way and we want that, we think we want the food, but what we really want is the memory, the event, the experience that we associate with the food. And when we get to the point where we can separate food from feeling, that's when we can get some freedom.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. That's so good. And you're talking to me right now too, as well as I'm sure a bunch of other people, because I will grab that snack. I will grab that certain food whenever I am feeling a certain kind of way. I have definitely discovered that I am an emotional eater, and I do have an emotional attachment to food. I love that you said that your belief system changes. So over this year specifically, I have been very, very intentional about focusing on my health. And so when I talk to different women about, like, my weight loss journey and the things that I'm doing for myself, one of the things I can definitely attest to is the fact that, like, taking that time to, like, go work out and be more mindful of what I eat, it is like it has altered a lot of things in me, right? Like the mental willpower that I have gained just by going to the gym and pushing past my limitations of what I feel like my body can do when I'm working out. And then also saying to myself when I get back home, like, you didn't do all that work to just now go put garbage in your body. Like, all of those things are so, so, so connected. And I love that you mentioned that, people can go, and there are easy alternatives to losing weight. However, there is still going to be lingering effects, mentally and emotionally, that you're dealing with when you do that. One of the things that is very popular right now, I'm sure you have heard of it, is Ozempic, right? A lot of women are going to Ozempic in order to get the weight loss. What are your thoughts on Ozempic?
I say take it. I say take it. And here's why I say take it. If you need the medication to get you started, to get you over the hump, to help you through a rough spot, take it. If you need the surgery to help you do something that you can't do on your own, I say have it. I did them both. If Ozempic had been out when I was struggling, when I was in that period, I probably would have taken it. But here's the thing, you can take it, but you have got to do the mental work with it. You have got to change your belief system while you're trying these other methods. If you have the surgery, because it will not last. It will not be transformative. You will be disappointed, you'll be frustrated, you'll be angry, you'll still be in battle, because we have to fundamentally changed what I believed about food. And anybody that works with me, right? There are three things. There are three things I say you have to accept. You might not even believe them in the beginning, but you have to accept them to start with me. And that is, you have to accept that the only purpose of food is nutrition, nourishment, and energy. That's thing one. That is all. It is just fuel. Nutrition, nourishment, energy. The only problem it solves is hunger. That's number two. Because if you eat because you're lonely, you eat because you're tired, you eat because you're grieving, you eat because you're frustrated, all you're going to do all you're going to be after you eat is full. You will still feel those things, and those needs will go unmet. So we're walking around with needs unmet because we have an expectation that food can do something that it is not designed to do, that it can never do. And that's where the problem happens, because we're using food. We have an expectation that food, especially processed food. I'm talking about processed food. Let me be clear. I'm talking about the sugar, I'm talking about the fat, I'm talking about the salt, I'm talking about the preservatives, I'm talking about all that stuff that keeps us addicted.
Mm-hmm.
The processed food that takes us down this road of addiction, that changes our brain. And we try to treat it like weight loss. And addiction and weight loss are not, you don't treat them the same way. We have to reclaim our brains, and we reclaim our brains through connection. We reclaim our brains through community. We reclaim our brains by rewriting our story. That's what I teach people to do. You rewrite your story. You write it. You physically, you put a pen in your hand, you put it against the paper, and something happens. Something happens as you start to speak and write that into existence. So we have to reclaim that. And then the third thing, in order for somebody to work with me, you have to accept that at this point, everything you believe about food is a lie. Everything you believe is a lie. And then from that, we build. And and the thing that I want to make clear to people, and anybody watching can take this with them today. It's what I use every day to stay in alignment, to stay true. Before everything you put in your mouth, right? Before everything, and it takes practice, right? You're not going to always get it right, but that's part of the journey. You need to ask yourself a question: is this really food? Is this really food? Why do I think it's food? Am I hungry or am I something else? What just happened? Who just walked in the room? What did I just hear on TV? What did someone just say to me? What email did I just open? Was I hungry 5 minutes ago? Why do I want to eat right now? Am I hungry or am I something else? If this food will not give me the body I say I want, not just the body, the life, the health, if this food will not give me that, why am I eating it? And why this food now? Why this particular food now? And starting to ask those questions before everything, it gives you an opportunity to pause. And in that pause, you have the opportunity to make a decision that serves your health, that serves your life, and not just your appetite. Because the reality is, as long as we are serving our appetite and making our decisions about what we eat based on appearance, taste, smell, and pleasure, we're going to be victimized. We're going to be victimized by the fast food companies, the snack food companies, the junk food companies, who do not care about our health. All they care about is our profit. And we have to put our health above our taste buds. I'm going to repeat that. We have to put our health above our taste buds. We have to stop eating for pleasure and start eating for nutrition. Who says I'm a nutritional eater? We have to claim that. We have to be that, because it is the only nutrition serves our brains. If we want to be smarter, if we want to be more proficient, if we want to be more productive, if we want to succeed, if we want to improve cognition, it is the food. We need to eat for that. Cheetos and a soda is not going to give us that at lunchtime. We need some broccoli. We need some fish. We need some green beans. We need these fresh fruits and vegetables. Our bodies, our brains are craving that. So if we want to perform, we want to step into our purpose, we want to step into our business, we want to claim that, then we need to claim food that's going to honor our body and honor the work that we want to do in this world.
Mm. Okay. So this message needs to be like, everybody needs to hear this message. This is life transforming information. Wisdom is so valuable, especially to our community. Woo, I'm really just, I'm blown away, because there's just so much truth in all of it. And my husband and I were actually just talking the other day about, about food, and the question you asked, like, is it food? And when I was reading some of the ingredients on, I don't know if it was a soda or something, and I was just like, this isn't food. Like, what? These are not ingredients of any plant that any animal that, like, what is this? This is something, some chemical that we're literally consuming, we're putting inside of our body, and we don't even know what it is. Like, why are we eating this? I literally asked that question to my husband the other day.
Yeah.
Like, is it food? That's I just feel like that.
Is it safe?
Is it safe?
And we cannot assume, here's the thing, we're too trusting. We can't assume that just because we bought it in the grocery store, that just because we bought it at Whole Foods, just because we bought it at Fresh Farm, because they serve it in a restaurant, we can't assume that it's okay. Mm-mm. We cannot. We have got to peel back the layers, because our bodies are not processing it. And the reality is that you can drink it today. Right. And sometimes if you're allergic to something, your body immediately rejects it, and but the long-term effects of this, I mean, if you're broken down today, it's not because of what you ate yesterday. It's because of what you ate 10 or 20 years ago, the cumulative effect. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing I want to drop on you, Andromeda, is that this really is not our fault. We live in a toxic food culture that pushes this on us through marketing, through advertising, through subliminal messages, through overt messages that convince us that we're hungry when we are not. So much to the point that people don't even recognize what real hunger feels like, because every desire to eat is not hunger.
Right.
But we see the flashing signs, we see the colors, we see the signs, we see all of that says, "Ooh, I think I want to try that," right? Marketers want that, but we have to reclaim our bodies. We have to get in touch with what it feels like, and quite frankly, be okay with being hungry. Mm-hmm. Be okay. Be okay with it. Mm-hmm. We have these stories, which is what my work is rooted in. We have these stories that we have about food, these beliefs that we have about food, based on legacy. Yeah. Right? That those stories that do not serve us now, and they're working in our subconscious mind and leading us down a road of ill health. We have to identify those stories. We have to find them, face them, rewrite them, and replace them with true stories that serve our highest intention and health where we are now. And that's process. You don't do it overnight. You do it one story at a time. Right? You do it one day at a time. But over time, you can completely change how you master your skills around food. And when you do that, your life will change. Not just your body, your life and your mind will change.
This information is so necessary. And I say that you got me thinking about so many things, and even my own personal journey about how, like, my food story had to change at a certain point, because if it didn't, like, I was literally going down a path that probably would have killed me. I was having this pelvic pain, and I was having it for like probably a good 2 years. And it would come on, and I would go to the hospital, and they would pump me up with morphine or give me Percocet. And at some point, I remember looking in my medicine cabinet and just seeing like all these different prescriptions for pain medication, and thinking to myself, like, if I was a person who had an addictive personality like that, I could easily be addicted to pain pills right now. But I discovered for myself by saying to myself, like, they would do ultrasounds and all the things, and they basically tell me, like, they don't see anything. They don't see what's causing this pain. So they just send me with pain pills and send me on my way. And so I had to figure out for myself, like, what's going on with me. And so that took me to looking into my diet. Like, what is it that I'm eating around the time when I'm starting to feel this pain? And so that's when I discovered, like, it was dairy, it was beef, it was certain foods that I was eating, that wheat, like, I'm gluten intolerant. I discovered for myself that I'm gluten intolerant, I'm lactose intolerant. Beef does not digest well in my body. It causes me to Like I had to discover these things on my own. And it just makes me think about all the different people. And I'm sure you know people like this too, who they'll go to the doctor and the doctor is literally just going to give them a medication to put a Band-Aid over the symptom. So you're still feeling the pain, but you're not feeling it because now you're taking this pain medication or you're taking something that's masking it, and you're not healthy. And I think that's a huge issue in our society as well, is that people are not being healed through medicine. They're just masking their issues.
Yes. And food, here's the thing about food. What we put in our mouth is either going to heal us or hurt us. It is not neutral. It is going to cure us or kill us, not neutral. And we have to pay attention to our bodies, right? And so what you just talked about is a food story, but it's one that's really conscious, right? I don't eat this because I'm allergic to it. That is your behavior around food that you're really conscious of and you are intentional about correcting. But there are many people, right, that especially when it comes to dairy, right, or a couple of other foods, they'll say, oh, I can take some medicine so I can eat this food, right?
Yep.
I can take this so I can eat it. Well, that's not listening to your body. Your body is saying, I don't like this. It's giving you a signal. This doesn't agree with me. I don't like it. And so we're so addicted to the taste or to what we associate that food with that we can't release it. So your power comes when you're able to make that association, like with beef. This is one reason why when some people have a hard time stopping beef or not eating meat. Ooh, we went to Ruth Chris. No shade on Ruth Chris, but we went to the steakhouse. I had a T-bone. I had the filet mignon. It is because we associate certain kinds of food with status.
Mm-hmm.
I say this because that was me. In the old days, I was at brunch every weekend, sometimes twice a day, right? Depending on the group. Mm-hmm. twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. Oh, let's go to brunch. Because it speaks to status, right? It speaks to a certain being able to afford a certain experience. That. And then you go and it's all nice and they have the big spreads and you have all this food that you've never had before. Now it speaks to curiosity, right? Now it speaks to some elevated taste. Now it speaks to a certain level of class, if you will.
Yeah.
It's all that is status, nothing to do with nutrition. Nothing to do with nutrition. So when we start thinking about beef and meat for a long time, because of that, and some of us are not that far from our generations in our family when they didn't have meat, when they were poor, right? And having meat was a big thing. And so the notion now of being vegetarian or not eating meat or eating all beans takes you back to this notion of lack.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with nutrition, because we can't see past that. But the reality is that going in that direction can serve your health on a higher level that has nothing to do with what we think it does. So we have to rewrite the story of what it means to eat beans every day, right? It doesn't mean that you can't provide for your family, right? It doesn't mean that that you can't afford meat, that you're in a place of lack, that you have to be ashamed. But those stories are passed down. Really, have you talked to people? Oh, we had the family over. We had 3 kinds of meat.
Yeah.
Right? We had 5 kinds of meat, right? because those are some people that maybe they don't remember not having meat, but they got a message from somebody somewhere along the line that not having meat, there was something attached to it that took them someplace dark.
Yeah.
And we got to flip that story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking about how what you're saying applies to so many circumstances throughout life. Like when
Mm-hmm.
we talk about you speaking on the claiming victory over adversity panel, like if you could having this adversity with food, like that is, I think, one of the most major adversities that people face every day and probably don't even realize that it's an
Mm-hmm.
adversity. But if you can, like you said, change your belief system with even that, I just feel like across the board, it just will change your life in so many different ways.
It does. It does. And and so I'll share with you, Andromeda, the process. And this is the process that I apply when I'm coaching people around changing their thoughts and their beliefs around food. But you're right, it applies to everything. The same system. It's a skill. It's a muscle. So first you just got to believe it. You have to have a belief and an expectation and a desire to do something different for your outcome to be different. Begin and believe. So it's all brand new. Begin and believe. The second is rise up and reinvent. So you take an assessment of your current situation and start making the steps, doing the writing to reinvent your situation around food or anything else. Rise up, reinvent. The next one is alignment and accountability. Right? We gotta set the goal and make sure that what we're doing every day is in alignment with where we want to go. And that means when it comes to food, I'm weighing every day. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm using the tape measure, because if you do that, you will. And people have different philosophies about this, but here's the thing: if you do that, you will never wake up and be 50 pounds above the last time you saw yourself and wonder what happened.
Yeah.
I used to get so mad. I used to get so mad, Andromeda, when I was struggling in this battle. And I would be out with what I call my skinny friends, and they would talk about 5 pounds, right? Oh, I gained 5 pounds. I'd be like, what are you? I want to slap them. I'm like, get 5 pounds. Are you kidding me? Pass me those biscuits, right? But what I know now that I didn't know then, because I wasn't open, because I wasn't really listening, they were sharing with me some truth, is that at 5 pounds, you can correct more easily. You can figure out what's going on. At 50, you don't even remember those first five.
Yeah.
You don't even remember them. But the reality is, as you go back down from 50 to 45 to 40 to 35 to 35, you're going to have to deal with whatever caused the first five. So you keep peeling back the layers. But at 5, you can get in front of it. You can say, wait a minute, what have I been doing? What is there something going on in my atmosphere, in my environment, at home, at my work, with my family, that's making that is keeping me unaware, that has me doing some things that I'm not really paying attention to. It could be your body. It could be that time. It could be anything going on with your body, right? But that alignment and accountability, you can't fix what you can't face. You can't manage what you don't measure. So we have to do that. Alignment and accountability. The next is nutrition and nourishment. It's the food. We have to pay attention. I gave you the questions earlier. But no matter what it is in life, if it's your career, you have to nourish your brain. You have to nourish your mind and your thoughts about the things that are going on in your industry. Right? That's the reading. That's the education. That's nourishment. Right? The next thing is DSW, drink, sleep, right. Those were the 3 things in my weight loss journey for years I never did. I never drank the water. I never got the sleep. I never did the writing. All I did was focus on the food, the things I thought were important. When it comes to business, the drink, sleep, and write, that's the details. It's the minutia. It's the paperwork, right? It's the expense account. It's the taxes. It's the returning the phone calls. It's the follow-up letter. It's all the stuff that you think that's not important that ultimately is important. You got to do that, because when you do that, that becomes a foundation that makes everything else easier. Because if you're working and you've done some follow-up research, or done some pre-research or follow-up research, or made the phone calls, when you pick up the phone or do the email or have the face-to-face with the person, that face-to-face, that conversation is better and stronger because you did the research before you ever got there. That's the stuff you don't want to do. You need the background. You did the LinkedIn. You Googled them. You found out, right? You did a deep dive. That's the DSW. Then the next no, the next letter is N again for new, is no is the new yes. So we have to really understand that when you're saying no to one thing, you're saying yes to another. You have to decide, we have to decide what we want to say yes to. And sometimes it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no to our friends. It's hard to say no to our family. It's hard to say no to Big Mama when she made some banana pudding and she knows you like it, right? Right? Right, right, because it's coming to you in love, and you don't want to hurt her feelings, and you feel like you got to eat it. But if you understand that she loves you, and she did it out of love, but you also understand that that's not going to serve your health. You find a way to say, "Oh, Big Mama, that looks so good. That looks so delicious. I'm so full right now. I can't eat it right now. I'm going to take it home. I'm going to take it home with me." That didn't mean that you're going to eat it when you take it home, but you want to make sure that she gets her love, she gets her props.
Yeah.
And then at some point you can have a conversation with her and tell her, this doesn't serve my health, Big Mama. Can you just make me some greens? She just wants to do something that shows you love, right? It doesn't have to be bad banana pudding, right? You can do that. Then the E is evaluate, ask, think. We have to evaluate everything we put in our mouth. We have to ask, we have to think about it. And all this takes energy, attention, and time, but it is our life. When I started on this journey in Andromeda, I just wanted to wear cuter clothes. I mean, really, it wasn't even a health issue for me, right? I wouldn't think about diabetes. I wouldn't think about high blood pressure. I wouldn't think about stroke, hypertension. I wouldn't think about any of the other diseases that obesity causes. I just wanted to wear cuter clothes. But it wasn't until I wrote my book and I started to do the research that I realized what I was doing was saving my life.
Mm-hmm.
When my doctor said stress would kill you, and I had to choose which road I was going to take, it was about saving my life. And I wrote this book. I published this book. I do the work that I do. I do the workshops. I teach the writing. I teach this process because I want to help women like me or anybody else who is ready save their life, because this is about saving your physical life. This is about saving your emotional life, your spiritual life, your mental life. This is what this is. This is time to show up for yourself. And then finally, after we do the E, we do the W, and that W says, wow, look what I did. Look at where I am now versus where I started. And when we get to the W, we stop, and then we go back to the B again. We go back through the process. We rinse and repeat, because every time we go through the process, we level up.
Yeah.
Start over, and you continue down that road at a higher level.
So good. Oh my goodness. You are a well of wisdom. You have a wealth of knowledge. This is way more than I bargained for today. Okay. I'm so full. Like, clearly you've done your research. Clearly you are super passionate about this. It's just oozing out of you. And I thank you so much for it. I asked all of our speakers this one question before we go. And, like I said, it's clear you are going to be bringing so much to the She Wins Conference. I mean, so much wisdom, so much positive energy, so much joy, so much laughter. I can just already tell having your presence in the room is going to be a blessing. But what is it that you hope to gain from being at the conference?
So here's what I hope to gain: an opportunity to pay it forward, an opportunity to give back. And when we first got on the call, I told you about how honored I was that you invited me to participate in this conference, and how much I really adore the work that you're doing. And I want to tell you why. For years, my career was in sales. It was an independent salesperson, which is a very competitive field, right? Mm-hmm. You work on a team, but you're really out there for yourself. And during the course of my career, I never had this experience of being in a room with other women that I could support, and they could support me. And there came a point in my life where somebody, I think, saw some brokenness in me and invited me to a women's conference. This was in 2010. This was 14 years ago. Going to that conference changed my life. To be in that room with all of that energy and to see it and to feel it. I mean, it was Andromeda, it was foreign to me, but I was like, oh my God, I had never seen it. I never experienced it. But I like it. I like it. I like this. But going to that conference, being in that room, having that energy and having that experience. And here's the thing, that was 14 years ago. I had no idea or no aspiration that 14 years later that I would be on a panel or that I would be doing this work or that I would be doing workshops or speaking or being in a place where I could support and uplift other women like me. I had no idea that this would be my life now. And if you had told me that 14 years ago, I'd be like, oh, you I'm running the other direction. But that's what all of this means to me. It is just full circle.
Oh, wow. Well, I am abundantly grateful that you are going to be there. I'm abundantly grateful that you saw us, that you decided to participate. Truly, truly, I'm just overflowing with excitement to finally get in the space with you. And like I said, to glean from more of your wisdom, because I know you have so much more to share with us. As we prepare and continue the countdown, this live is going to live on our YouTube page, live on our Facebook page. So for anybody who comes across it in the near future, the further down the road, and they hear your message, because I know they're going to want to know more, like, how can I get in contact with her? How can they contact you?
Sure. You can email me directly. I answer all my emails. It's Michelle@michellepettis.com. MICHELLE at michellepettis.com. You can Google me or follow me. You can follow me on social media at I Am Brand New Now. We just went through the acronym, I Am Brand New Now, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X. That's how you can get to me. And I'm happy to support, and on YouTube. I forgot about YouTube. Uh, Happy to support and connect with anybody who wants to.
Yes. Thank you so much again.
Oh my God, one more thing. Oh,
Okay.
my book.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so if you like the book, leavinglarge.com, you can download a free chapter, see if anything that resonates with you. If you want to get the whole book, I'll sign it and send it to you. Just go to leavinglarge.com. You can hear my whole story.
Well, listen, because I am so moved. Like, I'm just so moved by everything that was that was shared today. And I know that your book I know it's already changed lives, it's going to continue to change lives. I absolutely want to give somebody a copy of your book. I want to do that. So how can we? I do. I just do. So I'm trying to think about how we can choose a winner for this. Maybe somebody, if you're watching this live or watching the replay, send an email, comment below and let us know what's one of your favorite takeaways. And the first comment I see, you will win a copy of the book. If I don't see a comment within the next 24 hours, then I'll do the giveaway on Instagram. But I'm giving away a copy of your book. Yes.
And you know what I'll do? Since you're gonna give away a copy of the book, I am going to throw in, right? We're gonna raise the stakes.
Okay.
Every couple of weeks or so, I do what I call a Write Your Way to Your Right Rate workshop.
Okay.
And it's where I bring in my principles of healing through reading, writing, and storytelling. That workshop is $39. $39 for an hour and a half workshop. I'll teach you how to find your story, face your story, rewrite it, and replace it in a group online. You get somebody a book, I will throw in a workshop on top of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. All right. So if you're watching live or watching the replay, you have within the next 24 hours. So we'll say 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to share your favorite takeaway under our YouTube comments or our Facebook comments. If I don't see a comment within the next 24 hours, then we're going to take this giveaway over to Instagram. And somebody is going to win a copy of Leaving Large, along as the, what is it? Write your way to your right weight.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's good. I like that. Workshop. Okay. So good. Michelle, truly, it has been an honor and a pleasure to share space with you today. I've learned so much from you. And again, I'm so excited to have you at the She Wins Conference and Awards.
Thank you so much, Andromeda. The pleasure has been mine. Thank you for creating the platform.
Yes. All right, y'all. So y'all see the power that is coming and showing up on November 9th in Atlanta, Georgia. The She Wins Conference and Awards is happening. It's going to be filled with so many powerhouse women like Michelle and many, many others. If you'd like to learn more about the conference, how you can be in attendance, about our honorees and our other speakers, visit SheWinsSociety.com. And until next time, I hope that y'all keep growing, keep glowing, and keep on winning.